This question is tearing the internet apart. Are Mario and Peach really just friends?
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke.
And it's all because of an update from the Nintendo Today app, in which it stated that Princess Peach and Mario are good friends and help each other out whenever they can. Wait a second. Good friends? These two? After 40 years? Yeah, the internet didn't like this one bit, as it may suggest that that's all they are and nothing more. So have they really friend-zoned each other? Well, as one who's been there alongside Mario and Peach since basically the beginning of time, I can say that this sounds pretty ridiculous on the surface. After all, I remember growing up with game after game after game in which Mario and Peach kissed. Or at least Peach gave Mario a peck, whether it be on the cheek, on the nose, or maybe on the lips? I don't know, Mario World's actually pretty explicit here. Now, I guess technically these could be just friendly kisses, Mario is Italian after all. But somehow I don't think that's quite the case based on Mario's reactions here. I mean, come on, friends don't kiss friends like this. Get a room, you two! Okay, I guess that counts. And even though all the examples so far are pretty old, even some of the new Super Mario Bros. Games continue the trend, with Peach kissing Mario in the first one on DS and the last one on Wii U. And even though they don't kiss in the other two, it's still pretty romantic. Like how Mario carries Peach back to the castle in the second one. Look, I'm just saying if you ever find yourself in this situation, at least one of you probably thinks you're more than just friends. And then in the Wii one, they went on an intimate hot air balloon trip. And by the way, can we appreciate for a moment how much of a bro and wingman Luigi is here? Now, even though New Super Mario Bros. U was 13 years ago, they kissed again in another 2D game a few years later, being 2016's Super Mario Run. Although she also practically kissed everyone in that game, so it's complicated. Anyways, point is, Super Mario Run is almost a decade ago at this point. And I think the real issue here is that some people are concerned that Nintendo has changed or retconned the relationship that Mario and Peach clearly used to have. As in, while there may have been deeper romantic connections before, that may no longer be the case. Perhaps in an effort to be super family friendly or something? And some people might point to the ending of Super Mario Odyssey as evidence, in which Peach basically turned down a direct proposal from Mario.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
And since that game was basically the last 3D mainline game with both Peach and Mario, for a lot of people, it may seem to be the last official word we've had on the matter in the last 10 years. And it probably doesn't help that the Super Mario Bros. Movie also didn't really explore any deep romantic connection between the two either. At least not overtly. Although, maybe it's just me, but I don't think you offer to buy just any friend a turtle.
Come to Brooklyn, I'll buy you a turtle.
Maybe I will.
There was also this scene cut from the movie that suggests that at least Mario has a deeper romantic interest.
You know, when we're done with all of this, I thought maybe you could come visit Brooklyn. I could show you around.
Although it could be argued that it being cut in and of itself is evidence of a change in heart, so to speak, from Nintendo themselves. But I wouldn't personally make that argument myself. In fact, in my hour-and-a-half essay about the movie, I think I make a pretty compelling case for why it needed to be that way. Returning to the games themselves though, Mario Odyssey isn't exactly the final word on the matter either. For one, there have been multiple remakes in the last 10 years that retain the same intimacy as the original games, such as in Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, the Super Mario RPG Remake, or even New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Those are just remakes, of course they're going to stay true to the original game. And it doesn't change the fact that maybe moving forward, Nintendo would treat them more as friends than just lovers, continuing what may have been set up in Super Mario Odyssey. And to that I say, yeah, maybe, but I also have 3 counterpoints. And the first one concerns Mario Odyssey itself. As back in 2017, Game Informer straight up asked the game's producer if Mario is interested in Peach romantically. To which he replied, "I've always thought that Mario carries a bit of a torch for Peach. I think that's even true back in the 2D Mario games. If not, he wouldn't be wasting his time rescuing her over and over again." Although that question is followed up by Game Informer asking if he thinks Princess Peach feels the same way. To which he responds, "The heart of a woman is a mystery." Okay, so he may be playing a little bit coy with half the relationship. But that brings me to my second counterpoint, which involves Super Mario Maker 2, which came out 2 years after Super Mario Odyssey, as it actually had its very own story mode too. And if you saw it through to the very end, well, you'd see that Peach once again kisses Mario, which suggests that Mario Odyssey's ending was just a funny one-off and not an actual permanent change in their relationship. But then again, it has still been 6 years since then, and that doesn't explain why Nintendo today would call Mario and Peach just friends. And that brings us to my third and final counterpoint, that what Nintendo today said is basically meaningless. Because as it turns out, that may only apply to the English version. Because if you look at the Japanese update for Nintendo today, not only does Peach's bio state that Mario and her are very close, but Mario's bio goes a step further, specifically stating that he loves Princess Peach. And I don't think it gets much more definitive than hearing from the Japanese side of Nintendo themselves. Except, of course, we're hearing it from the man himself.
I love you so much. I love you.
So good news everyone, it's a false alarm! Mario and Peach, as far as we know, are still a thing. Or as close to a thing as they possibly can be based on how the games portray it. I mean, did she really invite Mario all the way across the kingdom just for cake? In any case, I've now officially talked for way too long about a fictitious cartoon relationship involving a princess and a plumber in a kingdom full of mushrooms. But don't let that stop you by telling us what you think of this news in the comments below. But before we get typing on that reply, make sure to click the subscribe button if you haven't already for tons more deep dives like this from us, such as my hour-and-a-half essay on the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which you should totally check out in case you missed it. I cover a ton in the video and I think you'll find it pretty insightful. And with that, we're out of here. Thanks for watching and we'll catch you later. Bye everyone!